Tier 4 Premium members for the trading day of May the 5th, 2025, a Monday. So we're starting the week here, and let's start with the ES. Remember what we said here? Break through this resistance, then we're going to wait till it builds a bull flag. And this is what seems to be happening now. So keep an eye on this tomorrow. And if this triggers, stabilizes here, and then triggers, then we're good to go to 5,800. That's how I see this opportunity on the ES, and it looks pretty good right now. Turning our attention to currencies. So as we have discussed a few times, we see general weakening of the USD, which might even continue long term. So look at these potential possibilities here, perhaps in 2025. So this is the 6E, which is practically the mirror image of the DX, and this is a bull flag forming here. This is a weekly chart, of course, so we're going to need a couple of days for this to really get going, but this is beautiful pressure into resistance and potentially the start of a more long-term move here. And we're also eyeing for more immediate actions here. We're long on the 6A because it's triggered now. Look at this, beautiful. And the 6N, let's cover that too. The correlated market is triggering right now, almost as we speak. Look at the small chart. I also want to mention the Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar, last time it was on parity with the USD was it 2012, I think. Look at the long-term chart. So now it's 0.72, but look at this. This is poised to work itself to the upside first, probably to this level here. What was it, 84? Which would be no big deal historically speaking, but this is a beautiful long term. What this means, sell USD, buy 6C or any of the other major currencies if they're set up to the long side correctly. Look at this also, very interesting to see this horizontal consolidation. We need to take these just as seriously as the classic sloping bull flag, especially since this is also pressure into resistance, working its way up. Okay, we could also mention the Japanese yen. They're all doing the same thing, so be careful which one you pick and manage your risk at all times. These trades are necessarily correlated. So let's turn our attention to gold, precious metals. The exhaustion top tail here gives us a little reason for a little pause or patience, if not concern. But given the situation that we're in, I don't think this is where gold will stop. So if you're interested, or if you just want to trade or trail or add to existing positions, this could be a good area to do so. More pressingly, perhaps, SI, look at this. What I identified here for myself is a potential measured move. Now, what will happen, of course, who knows? But this we have seen so many times before that out of this no man's land here, a new move starts. What went before the preceding price action is constructive, lots of bottom tails, no panic selling. So I think if you want to pursue this, then what you have to wait and see if this bear flag actually does fail. What we want, I'm not going to short this, obviously. This is a setup. I'm not interested in shorting. All right. And I'm expecting this setup to fail. The failure of this setup would be a very strong indication for a successful trigger around 33.5, which would take us probably, hopefully, back to the previous pivot. This is how we think in advance. This is how we make a plan. Okay, and I also want to show you something on soybeans. Remember these two short signals here lately, which we are ignoring or have ignored. And I think if this triggers now, this trade is still good. And we also looked at, which was the other one? ZL, which gave us a 1R and then pulled back 50%. What is it doing now? Just another pullback here. Okay, so there's quite a few opportunities. Which one will turn out? These agriculturals are not my first choice for tomorrow. I want to keep an eye on the ES and definitely some of the currencies and perhaps also silver if it gets going. So let's get busy. Looks like a good week. We'll be back in the morning, and until then, mindful trading.